This recording is taking place at the San Antonio Baptist Association in San Antonio, Texas. I'm Charles Price, the Director of Missions at San Antonio Baptist Association. I'm with Roland Lopez, my associate. He is the consultant for Hispanic Ministries and our church starting consultant. This morning we want to tell you our story. It's really pretty simple. About 4 years ago, I had been Director of Missions here for 6 years, and we began to see that there was a need in our city, and there was a response to approach to church that we weren't familiar with. So we began to learn about it. We began to study it. We began to meet people who were doing house church that are part of the Baptist family. We began to give them legitimacy. There was one pastor who had retired, and we begun a church in his house, and that had expanded to 13 different congregations that he was working with. And so we began to see how we might intentionally see that expand, because we'd heard about the movements of God in other parts of the world like China and India, Central America and Africa. We began to say, why couldn't God do it here? With a large Hispanic population, we began to see a great response to simple churches and homes and trailer parks and apartment houses and clubhouses around the city. And I want Dr. Lopez, our church planning consultant, to tell you more about how this work is expanding.
As Dr. Charles Price has mentioned, that about 4 years ago we began to get interested about the house churches and how San Antonio was very conducive in the organic house church. They were responding here in San Antonio. We began to identify some house church planters and began to give those individuals legitimacy, and they began to connect with the association. We began to cultivate that relationship and providing some reading for them, and began to provide some direction for these small congregations. During the time in the first year, we saw at least 32 new congregations being birthed in people's homes. We began to see that these men who were pastors, leaders of these congregations, in reality were pastors of congregations of 15, 16, 18, 30 individuals, people in their congregations. At this particular time, we have 4 or 5 full-time missionaries that here in San Antonio, here at the San Antonio Baptist Association, that are directly involved in planting home churches, organic churches here in our city. We also have a training, a missionary training institute, where these men come together, leaders and their wives come together and begin to learn about house churches, and we learn together. We do have 3 basic requirements, and that is, number 1, they have to lead somebody to Christ, be an effective evangelist. Number 2, to disciple someone, they have to introduce us to their disciple. And number 3, that they start a home church. And so those are the 3 main requirements for graduation. And so at this particular time, we have approximately 70 to 75 home churches. When we gather them together, all together, we can count on about 1,200 as they come together. So we do believe very strongly that house church is something that that we definitely others that need to look into. We are not just focused upon a house church. We are focused upon traditional churches and whatever their expression might be. However, we do believe that it is through house churches that we are multiplying, we're definitely multiplying and developing leadership so that they might be able to disciple others to do the same thing. And so thank you so much for this opportunity to share with you about the house church movement here in San Antonio. At this time, Dr. Price will share other thoughts as we conclude this message.
One of the critical things that we found in our discussion, our learning about the house church, is that the urban setting really does need missionaries on the ground in our large urban areas in the United States. We need these missionaries to guide these churches. This provides some accountability. It also provides a system of training, and it keeps the churches healthy. And so we hope that we'll see this expand to other metropolitan areas, and we're glad to give our testimony about how God's been working. Thank you for the opportunity to share our story.